Greetings, Mega Man fans, and welcome back to the Mega Man Rock Force LPA. In this episode, we'll be taking on Power Man, the fusion of Shockman and Circuit Man. Electrical power, definitely fitting. And, without further ado, hi! We have a gimmick introduction. That was fast. Good thing I didn't jump down there right away, because otherwise I would have gotten a cannon to the face. That cannon down there, the green ones shoot, the peach ones don't. And the peach ones will either catch the orb or let it through, depending on whether there's 2 holes in it or 4 holes. The stage theme here is Kevin's Stage 41. Really good song. I wouldn't say it's quite like Photon Man levels of fitting, but it still really works. Nothing else I really like the song. The cannons here originally only had one form, which was the 4-hole one. This made dealing with them actually rather difficult, as you had no way of knowing what was going to catch and what was going to release. Now, however, that's been fixed, which I appreciate. And one thing I appreciate them not being changed is the very solid difficulty curve that this section has. I'm sure you won't notice, but we went from 1 cannon to 2 cannons to 3 cannons to cannons and enemies. Very nicely done that. I appreciate I appreciate the difficulty curve here. It's very nicely done. This room, on the other hand, I absolutely loathe this room. I'm already bad enough at dealing with unbrushed controls. I really do not need conveyor belts ready to fling me into oblivion at a moment's notice. I really don't need that. To say I'm not keen on this room, like I said, I loathe this room. I really, genuinely loathe this section. It's one of the few things keeping Power Man stage from being one of my personal favorites. Well, personal favorites. Keeping it from being one of my most favorite. I still like it. Just fudge conveyor belts and breakout tubes. Like that is an unholy mixture right there. Shield attackers and conveyor belts, on the other hand, turn shield attackers into a nice little obstacle. I greatly appreciate that compared to breakout tubes. And we have an elite. He's no more threatening than usual, as clearly demonstrated. And in this room, we have a new enemy type. Watchers. They behave the same way as they did in Mega Man 1. And if you run for it, generally speaking, they don't touch you. Even with the cannons present, you can actually literally just speed through that entire section and not take a single hit. In fact, I only just grabbed that one up out of force of habit, because normally I do take a hit to show off Watchers a little better. Oh well, if you're curious about how they work, Mega Man 1 helps. I think I already had 9 E-tanks, but thanks, Nitro Man. I appreciate the thought. And now, we have a new setup. These blocks right here move forwards, or backwards, in a wave of sorts. Simple enough gimmick, though originally it was introduced in rather deadly fashion. That laser there is basically a spike. So, do be careful around it. Also be careful around the Elecons, because they're all too happy to get you killed if you aren't careful. They're basically the same as they were in Sparkman's stage, and I find it tends to help to keep one hiding around, in order to give you at least a little more leeway in the stage, because then you don't have them constantly spawning trying to threaten you. Of course, after a certain point, it's going to cease to be useful. And once it's not useful anymore, you should probably get rid of it before it becomes a hindrance. And now the wave blocks are coupled with spikes. Getting squished won't kill you, assuming you have a shock guard. That being said, still, don't do it. The spike sections are a little easier than the laser ones, because of the fact you can literally just run forwards and not get yourself killed. Quite unlike the wave section, where if you aren't, like, cautious about it, you can get killed very easily. Particularly right here, because now we have to jump for it as the waves are going in the opposite direction. And right there, proof of concept. Not being careful can be a very, very bad idea. Ow. Thank goodness for shock guards. And now we have another new gimmick type. These electric sparks travel along these circuits, and if you touch them, it hurts. So don't touch them. That sounds pretty obvious. And, you know, it is. This is a very simple gimmick to work with, but that's not a problem. Sometimes simple works. And, while it may be simple, it still gets used in some pretty neat ways. I messed that up. Okay. Safe. Wasn't safe there. I should not have hesitated. I have, like, no health. You know what? I have, like, 90 tanks. It shouldn't hurt to spend one. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Murphy's Law of E-tanks. When you use it is when you don't actually need it. And for the final section of this stage, return of the conveyor belts. Only now they're a little less interesting. Only a little, but oh well. And with that, that's Power Man stage. In this stage, mobility is the name of the game. Keep moving, and most of the things here will not threaten you too terribly. You have to move between spots that are safe and spots that aren't, all with a fair degree of haste. Fortunately, they're usually very, very simple. And you know what? I like this stage. I actually do like this stage. A lot of it gels together really nicely. It's got good theme music, can't fault it for that. And as I demonstrated, it does have a cohesive theme to it. That being said, the room with the breakout tubes and the conveyor belts can just... Anyway, Power Man. Power Man is probably my favorite of this set. The fusion of Shockman and Circuit Man makes a boss that relies primarily on electrical power to do his fighting for him. Those three machines on the field, he controls them. If he goes to the middle, it's this cannon on the wall. If he goes to the left, it's a roof machine that fires lasers. And if he runs all the way to the right, it's that floor rover. None of this is instant death, but it does hurt nonetheless. In order to kill him, you actually have to bounce shots off of the machines and hit him in the face. I do hope you remember the ricochet mechanic that the intro stage went to all that trouble of introducing for you. Because, newsflash, you're going to need it. Additionally, he fires shots below himself as he's traveling between the machines. So, he's not completely useless without his, minions to do the fighting for him. He can be tricky if you don't know what you're doing. But, if you do, he's actually fairly simple. I've actually been able to perfect run him before, though definitely not this round. Like I said, though, he's one of my favorites. And, given the amount of mobility you need to demonstrate, he gels so very well with his stage. I gotta admit, can you imagine trying to fight him without having gone through the intro stage first? How many of you would have been completely confused for the first little while on how to fight him if you didn't know that the game planned for you to be able to ricochet bullets into things in order to activate them or otherwise damage them? And that's why the intro stage for Mega Man Rock Force is important, especially since Power Man used to be a mandatory boss fight as opposed to the semi-optional one that he is now. And with that, we only have one Robot Master left to go from this set. So, in the next episode, we'll be taking on Flare Man. So, until then, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you for the next one. Until then, goodbye!